Earl on the beat.
Hey, this is Archer.
What up? It's Buddha Blessing.
It's good. Danny Earl here. AUCWhoGotNext.
What's up, what's up, what's up? What's up? Y'all look nice. Y'all look like y'all get money too. Y'all some rich college students. Alright, now, we have a dope panel. He's like, no, that's not the case. We have a dope panel lined up with some of the top producers, very talented guys. The first one I want to introduce is Danny Wolf. Archer. Y'all know this right here. Buddha. And last but not least, I mean, it's his birthday too, so he better act up. Earl on the beat. Can we get a happy birthday for Earl, everybody? Let's go.
I appreciate it.
All right, now, you know, this panel, we're really just going to discuss their journeys as music producers, landing different placements, building relationships, managing their brand, and, you know, staying on the grind. I think you guys could all relate to that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Y'all could all talk on that.
Sure.
All right, now, let's get a look at y'all real quick. Let me just get a look at y'all. Y'all look all spiffy, you know what I mean? Glasses, the head. All white sticks. I get money over there.
Oh, gotta have some drip. Producers gotta have drip too, man. The artists ain't gonna have drip, and we gotta have some drip songs too.
Y'all got the drip. I see Earl over there with the Balenci's on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What we say out there, we're daring loud. Add it up. Add it up. All right, now, Earl, you're from North Carolina. North Carolina, Atlanta raised.
Yeah.
Same thing with you, Buddha. Atlanta raised, but from Long Island. New York. Archer, you're from South America, but Atlanta raised.
Yep.
And Danny, you are from Mexico City. And you're here in Atlanta. How do you guys feel like your upbringings and where you're from has influenced your music career, like you even deciding to pick a career within music as a producer?
Well, with me, I started out in church, and then from there, kind of just music. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That was really the whole story for me.
With me, it started out same church, but also my uncles. They was producers and being from up top of New York, I always had that New York sound. Like my favorite rapper, 50. But I grew up listening to all this country stuff, so I incorporate both into my music, and it made the soul. Well, it made my sound what I feel like.
Yeah, for me it was just like, because I never went outside, I just stayed on the computer just tinkering on it, and then eventually I just started going to music lessons, going to all the everything that the school had for music, everything like that.
Shit. I'm from Mexico, so coming to America, I didn't even speak English. So I was just hustling, really. I didn't really know what I was doing, but it was just like the immigrant mindset of coming to America and like living the American dream, which is just what pushed me to just finding my own sound.
Now, I know a couple of you guys mentioned church. So in church, you gotta play instruments in church. I don't think any of you are like technically classically trained or anything like that, but more so, are you classically trained?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel like that has influenced you in your production? Because more so nowadays, you don't have to know how to play an instrument to be on the charts, to be a dope producer. How do you feel like do you feel like it gives you any advantages?
No, you can still turn up with no piano skill. Look at me, I ain't.
No, but I'm saying, do you feel like knowing how to play that instrument gives you any advantages as a producer?
Of course, like music theory, and
yeah.
I know how to read, but I just can't. You know,
Yeah.
I can still get in there.
Me personally, I feel like it gives me a great advantage. Because like a lot of producers make beats, but they'll get like loops or something somebody already played, and that's a whole nother cut, a whole nother split. You make dope music, but that's a whole nother cut, a whole nother split you gotta break somebody else off. So I feel like me being able how to play and knowing chords and all that stuff, just keep everything like, I like working with other producers too, but I just feel like it gives me more advantage, definitely.
Being classically trained, actually I started from a place without being classically trained, so just knowing, I feel like if your approach to music, if you don't know the theory, that you're more in touch with what you're familiar with, what your tastes are, what you grew up with. So whereas with music theory, it's super technical. So it's like the melody and the harmony are really intertwined. So it's just like you can tend to overthink things a lot. So just disassociating from that sometimes helps.
I would just say whatever works for you. Like if you feel like you gotta go do piano, or if you feel like you gotta do music theory, like it just comes down to your discernment, because your discernment is what's gonna help you out throughout the industry. Like who is in these two. Like it's just like polishing that discernment. So if this sounds fire, it's fire. Like you can't deny heat.
Yeah, never forget that.
With all this success that you guys have obtained in your career, have you ever thought about like, hey, I want to like learn more of this instrument, or actually like go into that?
Yes,
What instrument?
the piano.
Okay. Anybody else?
I want to learn the bass guitar.
Okay.
I like the sound of the funk.
Yeah, guitar.
Guitar, trumpet, fire. All right, now, starting off as a producer, everybody, before you said, hey, I want to be a producer, you were a fan of music. And then you have your favorite artists, and then you find out who are behind these songs, the producers. What producers, as you were growing up, like, did you research or you admired coming up that made you want to be able to hop into it?
Kanye West, Kanye and Havoc from Mobb Deep.
Okay.
Havoc from Mobb Deep, his sample game was cold, and all his shit was just hard. I like to hear all his shit.
Lex Luger, DJ Spins.
Okay.
Sunday Digital for me. Racks on racks.
Yeah.
My first one.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that.
If I was Sunny Digital and K on the track.
Fire.
Yeah.
All right, now, Danny, you were talking about more so just coming to America, chasing the American dream, the hard work you have to put in, and everything like that. Aside from just, everyday struggles in life, what struggles do you feel like you ran into most while navigating?
I would say mindset. Mindset's like the biggest journey, I feel like, because you could be talented, but you're working towards being at a certain level, and when you're at that certain level, you deal with certain mental obstacles, and it was just learning how to navigate through that and being productive, because a lot of people in the industry, they fall through like depression, they fall through doubt, fear, a lot of things that you can't really see. So it was just knowing how to handle the things that were going on in your head. It was really like some of the biggest obstacles, I would say.
That's a big one right there, though. I'm glad you touched on that. Just more so mental health, and just as creatives and everything like that, you get to those points where you're questioning whether you're dope or not, or is this good enough, or what could I be doing to do more? How do you guys keep your mindset healthy and keep you focused to, keep going? Do you take those down times? Like, what do you do to make sure that you're the best you can be mentally?
Me personally, you just do normal life stuff. I still always, like, even when I'm like, you could say having a writer's block, I'll still just sit there and make something and go off the sheer confidence that I feel like you Buddha blessings be anything you got gonna go, you got something. So I'll sit there and keep working and just like try to feed myself that. But other than that, just doing life. I like to hoop. That's one thing I always did, like was play ball.
I don't think you can beat me though.
Watch out, man. Well, I'm like the hoop. You know what I'm saying? You like the
Somebody tell them
like the hoop. You know what I'm saying? Go out, shoot dice, and whatever you gotta do.
Shoot dice.
Shoot dice with the
See, you
homies.
might be able to beat me at that. I'm not.
Yeah, I guess you gotta catch the vibe. You know what I'm saying? You gotta track the vibe for real.
You got that. I'm not doing that.
For me, I just be in the house with my friends. So I'll be cooking up while my friends still be there. You know what I'm saying? Kind of remind me where I came from, so I can continue to keep going up and just.
So it keeps you centered.
Yeah, just keep
you centered
on earth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I spend time with my family. I have a 1-year-old at home, so I just regular dad stuff, and also just other outside things, like I have a chess club that I go to. Just because I'm into
Now you can't beat me in that. I'm a basketball
No,
board.
okay.
Just 'cause
He
I'm
can have
super
that. I
good.
never tried to learn how to play that, okay?
Right.
I mean, I was more checkers.
But it's just whatever you're into, just stuff that isn't music, just to kind of get you, just to keep that balance.
Definitely. What do you guys think you found to be your biggest sacrifice that you feel has been the same no matter what level you have been at in your career? What do you feel like has been your biggest sacrifice?
Family time.
Definitely.
Just learning when to know when to say no to certain things that you really want to do, and just dedicating it to whatever you really want to do in life.
Yeah, I agree. Family time.
Same.
Yeah. All right, now I want to hop into the creative process. This is where all the fire gets cooked up at. You know what I mean? Where it gets sauced. What do you guys do to get into your creative processes? Because everybody is different as a creative. Some people, I know Earl, he likes to be with the homies. You know what I mean? So it's just like, what do you guys do to get into your creative process? You gotta smoke some, you gotta drink, what do you
Okay,
gotta do?
I was trying to see.
Okay.
Yeah, with everything, you buy some females over sometimes. You got the speakers, you got
That's what a Buddha session look like?
you got the hand, you know what I'm saying? You got the hand, you got the, you know what I'm saying? You got different things, Anything get you it brings you a vibe. Even different people, like he's saying, his homies bring a different vibe over to the crib that you could go with. Or you write some female love friends, they give you a different vibe to cook with. So
Sometimes even just working with other writers,
Okay.
just like however they, just a whole different energy of someone other than yourself being in the room.
So,
I just listen to some lit shit, and then I get amped up, and then I go based off that energy.
how long do you guys stay on ideas when you're working? Do you
10
like
minutes.
10 minutes and do you go to the next? Is that all of you guys?
10 minutes and then I come back. It won't be a full beat. But
I'm about to say, for me, it's different. I try to finish it. If I start it, I try to finish that shit, like, every time.
Or just work on it till you get sick of it.
Yeah, type of shit, like that.
Yeah, I just wait till unless everyone's face is in the room saying this shit's nasty, bro. What the fuck? Then I'll still keep working on it, but if it sounds whatever, I'll just delete it or move on.
All right, now, placements. It's something that every creative is working towards once, like that's the goal, to get the placements. Do you guys remember y'all first placements?
Yes.
All right, let's hear y'all first placements.
My first placement was Lil Yachty, Run My Sack Up.
Okay.
And yeah, that was the first one that I got paid for. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Check.
my first one was 2 Chainz and Drake, Big Amount.
Ooh.
That was my first one.
Dang.
April 5th, August 5th, 2016.
Yo, fire.
First.
Congrats on that. That's fire.
My first one was Rich Kids, I Told You.
Okay.
You like major placement or the first person to rap on my show?
I mean, whatever means the most to you.
That one.
There was this guy out there that he's not big, but he gave me like $500 for my first placement. So I always,
Always because he looked at it and he was like, "You're worth for me to pay." Like,
yeah, he like paid me through.
Yeah, that's the people you can't forget. All right, now, from the first time you secured your first placement, how has it transitioned? Like, how has it changed, or how has it even stayed the same now when you land a placement?
Repeat the question.
So what?
Can you repeat that?
Okay, I'm saying compared to the first time you landed your first placement, like when you first landed a placement, how has it changed for you, or how has it stayed the same throughout the process of landing them?
I mean, what made me keep wanting to get placements is the money. Every time you get placement, the more money you get. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Your name has value to it every time you get some shit placement.
So you're like, hunger goes up.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, as far as placement, as far as my first placement, it definitely helped me to I use each placement I got to get me to the next record, to the next artist. Especially artists you might just see on their Instagram bumping around or riding. Like how I got my next placement was the Migos, Culture One, and Callcasting. But that was through Twitter. for takeoff or just on Twitter. So I always use my next record, or my record to get to my next record, and my next record, or to the next artist. Yeah, I never just stick on one artist. I, try to spread it around. So my one placement helped me get to the next one.
Yeah, I used to engineer like constantly around the city. So whenever artists would run out of beats or just playing a beat at the beginning of the session, that's how like.
It's always a good way to get your stuff on.
Yeah, but
Smart.
But more recently, it's been like more labels and managers.
Can you repeat the question? I forgot.
It was basically how has from the first time you landed a placement, how has the process changed, or how like what elements of it has changed or stayed the same when now securing placements? Like Earl was saying, it just makes them more hungry because the money comes in.
I was just addicted to the pressure. It became like you snap once, everyone's like, oh, you can't snap again, and then you snap again, and then they're like, well, that was just luck. So it was just, I don't know. It was like my family's doubt kind of fueled me to just keep, going, yeah.
All right, now, I know some people like set numerical numbers at the top of the year. Like I know Don Cannon, he'll sit up there and he'll be like, I want that many, like that's the goal. I want this many placements this year. Is that something that you guys do, or is it more so just out here, that's just
I to do that shit. Just go. And
just go.
Just do, yeah.
Yeah, put yourself in the middle of everything.
Yeah, I don't.
So no like set number where it's like I need that, or.
I mean, of course you just trying to kill it, because you might do a number, you might lap it. So you just really just trying to kill it. I don't put no number. I don't like working with numbers in my head, personally. Like deals, and I don't like working. I'm just by myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't like working with that. I need this, because some people be trying to get that to, cover certain things. They got a contract and stuff like that. I just like working free, open, like a little bird.
Hello, Bird.
I like to, if I'm doing an album with an artist, yeah, because I like to brand myself as a producer artist so that I can, get named on the album. So if I do have certain projects, I'll put like maybe one or two that I really want to do, like an album with this specific artist, so that I can have, keep them in mind, because we just have so much shit going on that, like, it's cool to get placements and stuff, but branding yourself as a producer that's also gets credited as an artist, I feel like it's a big deal nowadays, to get your Spotify monthly playlist up and all that stuff, just gaining more leverage, because then what I like to do, like, I don't really charge artists for a beat, I'll ask for a beat swap. So if I produce for them, I'll ask them for a song in exchange for my album, and then I can release it as myself as an artist. And build my platform.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's smart. It's really smart. You rub my back, I'll rub your back. All right, now let's talk about finding your sound. It's something that does not come overnight. How do you all think that you have came to a place where you're like, I know my sound now?
Yes.
All right, and how long do you think it took you guys to get there? Like,
it's different for everybody. Like for me, I've been making for like 6 years. I just got my shit last year. For real. But it's on me now.
Me personally, I feel like
Sauce it all on me.
it took me. I felt like at one point I did found my sound, but it was just me, finding the right artist to get my sound to. So sometimes you might be doing what you're doing, and you may not feel like it's the sauce because the right person that came along and put the right light on it. So any producers out there or anybody doing anything out there like creative like that, you may already have the sauce. It's just the right person that came and put the light on it.
Anybody else? Oh, okay. I know at a certain point, okay, so you find your sound and then you're dishing them out. You know what I mean? You're filling the vote. What do you do to not get complacent in your sound to, more so, I guess, not oversaturate the sound that you're creating?
You gotta switch it up. Try to do every genre.
Personally, I'll buy something like expensive. Like a keyboard, it'd be like expensive, like irrational almost. It'd be like, you gotta make your money back on it now. So you plug it up and you get a couple places. Well, I got my money back. So that's really what I do. I will go buy something like to make you like everything got its own sound and everything, but I will go buy something.
All right, now, within the creative process and being a creative, like, you know, how often your schedule gets busy. At certain points, do you always like make sure I'm setting a time this side? Like, do you set a block aside a day to make sure, like, I know from this time, whether I'm in the studio, whether I'm not in the studio, I'm cooking up this many beats, or I'm making sure I'm active doing this to, you know, continuously hone your craft every day? Like, what day-to-day routines do you do to make sure that you're continuously honing in on your craft?
Mine is different. One day I might wake up and make 3 beats. One day I might not make nothing. It's on you. It's like however you feel.
I agree.
And one day might be making, just locked in the studio. Another day it might just be going to meetings or just some family, hanging out with family, friends.
All right, now, when creating, what do you prefer more? I'm sure you guys prefer to get in personally with the artist, but how do you guys feel about writing sessions? Like, is that something that you guys do?
Writing sessions, yes, that's something I recently just got into. Every placement I got has been like straight being in there with the rapper and rapping on it and then coming out. But like one of the more recent placements that's about to come out, it was a sing, like I was in there with a writer. And it's a big placement, it's big, like, so probably one of my bigger ones came from me being in a room with a writer, so that's something I'm getting into now.
How do you feel about it? I mean,
Shout out Derek.
yes, we gotta shout out Derek Milano in the
He's
building.
a dope writer.
Derek, stand up so they can
Definitely
see
locked
you.
in on him.
Stand up so they can see you, Derek. Y'all, if y'all know who Derek Milano is, do research.
Y'all know him now, y'all gonna know him.
Y'all gonna know him real soon. Y'all gonna know him real soon. But Derek, I wanted to ask you a question. How do you feel about more so opposed to working with the artist when you're writing, opposed to when you're in the studio and you get to work with producers? Like, what's that like on the flip side with them saying, you know, how they like to work?
Every producer's different. Like, working with Earl isn't like working with Danny. Working with Danny not working with Buddha. So you gotta adjust. Like, I try to tell other writers all the time, you gotta move like an artist. I'm an artist. So you gotta move like an artist because you get respected like an artist. If you come in and you kind of on some weird, your vibe is off, 9 times out of 10 they're not gonna rock with you. And that's the first part. You still gotta get into the artist, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't go into a session like, all right, bet, I'm about to get in with Meek Mill and kind of not even be cool with the producer. So my whole thing was just getting cool with the producers first, working with them, running it up with them, and you know, just having that vibe and that structure. So when you cook records, it's already there. And then 9 times out of 10, when the producers is working, when the artist is working on their album, they be like, all right, bet, I want Earl, I want Buddha on my album. And they might have 5 songs on there. It's a phone call, hey bro, Meek cut it, yo, Drake cut it, yo, so-and-so cut it. You got something for this? And then you the first person that they call, so that's like get cool with the producers. Like, that's the main thing. If you want to respect, you don't want to be around artists, you don't want to be around nobody else, get cool with the producers and get cool with the engineers, because they're the ones that really, like, sound shift the whole industry. Like, they're the ones, so.
Thanks,
yeah.
Derek. All right, now, let's talk about softwares. There's so many different softwares that you guys can use, and I know everybody has their own preferences between Ableton, FL, some people use Pro Tools, some people use Logic. Like, what do you guys feel like are your go-to softwares when creating?
FL Studio.
Logic and FL.
We were just talking about this, Ableton.
All right, so we got 2 Abletons, we got FL, we got Logic. All right, what exactly makes those software stand out to you where it's like, that's why I like to work with that, that's why I like to work? Like, what about it? What about that software?
FL is so easy to work. Like, it's the easiest thing. All you gotta do is really just, when it comes to making beats, it's really just you mastering the software. That's you knowing like your software, for real. Once you master whatever you make beats on, you'll be straight from there.
I feel like FL, like in Logic, I could do different things like melodically with pianos and different stuff like that. With Fruity Loop, got that wham on it, so sometimes I might make a beat with just that wham, or somebody just make a beat like I just got a little R&B feel to it.
I feel like with Ableton, this is more working with samples. either working with samples or even just recording. Like the way I work is like the way I work with Summer. Like she records a really rough demo, and then I just kind of shift and do all like pieces together. And I feel like it's easier to do that in Ableton than it is in FL. It's a lot more setup in.
Setup, structure.
Yeah.
I feel like just do whatever you're comfortable with. You know, some people like to sample, some people like to do other shit. But I mean, you're gonna keep developing. Because I started off with Machine, and then I went to Logic, and then to FL, and then I finally stopped at Ableton. So it's just whatever you're comfortable with, really.
All right, now, I want you guys, like, can you guys touch on more so how important it is to invest within your craft, like investing in yourself, investing in your craft, investing in your tools, because none of these softwares are cheap. Your boards aren't cheap, any of the plugins aren't cheap. So can you guys just go into that, like how important it is to invest, and how much do you guys think you guys spend, maybe even, I guess, on a quarterly basis on making sure that you have the tools necessary to create the music that everybody falls in love with?
I mean, really, you just gotta find somebody to load you up with them VSTs. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, to be real honest with you, because I'm gonna come clean. Like, when you first start producing, you don't have $500 to go buy Omnisphere at 18 or 17 or 19 or 20. You know what I'm saying? But it's somebody in this school at Morehouse, I'm pretty sure, that know how to, you know what I'm saying, get in there for real. Like, that's supposed to be done, but yeah.
All you need is like a laptop and some headphones. All I used was like some shitty earbuds and a Windows computer with FL, crack version. And I just went crazy with it.
Exactly.
You don't need too much, but you know, that's for the audience.
Y'all better know how to crack codes. Now, Buddha, I seen in a recent interview, you were asked more so, you know, about sampling, and they were talking about like the 70s being such a big decade that continuously gets sampled. What are you guys' thoughts more so on the next decade that has become that? I was thinking like the 2000s, like a lot of people are jumping into like the early 2000s, and it sounds like that.
Me personally, I would say like the 90s, 2000. But yeah, as far you saying like the next generation of music, like to
Yeah, like more so what sounds are
yeah,
people
definitely
bringing
the
it now?
90s. I feel like the 90s is really, you know what I'm saying. You know, I'm 90s baby, and everybody, you know, get to that point where you know the 90s babies is, I guess how they think 30s or something like that. So you know what I'm saying. The 90s babies.
I'm 22, man.
I'm a 90s baby, and I'm 27.
It just depends what part of the 90s you are in. You late 90s.
Man, I'm early 90s.
It's early 90s and the late 90s. The late 90s, y'all born in 2000.
Nah, but I feel like that genre of music is when hip hop
Yeah.
was like personally.
All right, now let's talk about collaborating. The importance of collaborating. We talked about working with songwriters and things like that. What's the collaborating process like when it comes to working with other persons of making sure you're collab? Because I know a lot of the times the next place you can get just could be because you collab with somebody, and that could open a door. So
The vibe gotta be right. You gotta actually, in order to make a vibe beats with another producer, you actually gotta fuck with them for real, on some homie shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So y'all can have that chemistry, you know what I'm saying, to make something vibe.
I feel like working with other producers give you different perspectives on different things sometimes. Like I've learned a lot from other producers. Like other producers won't say that to you, or they won't say that like, oh, this plugin that you use, I went in like, but I learned a lot. Like we got in here the other day, we cooked up for the first time maybe like a week and a half ago. Before we even knew about this, we just was in the studio. And it was a piano he had. I'm like, bro, what's that sound you know what I'm saying? So I feel like everybody got their own thing that they bring to the game that you can, you know, just fuck with.
Alright, cool. It's definitely, like, I know KJ had said something like this.
shout out to
Just,
KJ. Shout out to Pat.
It's like
Shout
something
out my boy Pat.
you definitely gotta fuck with a person. You definitely have to have a great, like, personal relationship. Sometimes you might meet somebody and, like, nothing comes out of it the first time you guys work, but then just keeping that relationship, like, it's bound to happen.
I feel like working with up-and-coming people that don't have shit going on, like just people that are hard, and you know, just building with people that you believe in, that you can see them blowing up because you're just like planting seeds, like you're planting a harvest.
Yeah.
And then, just knowing who to invest your time with, and they don't have to have placements. Like you guys are making hard shit, but people are gonna hear it regardless. So just working with people that you like you don't necessarily have to be like clout chasing people and shit like that.
How do you handle it when you get into a session and you're working with a producer that you necessarily don't know, and then the chemistry's kind of off? Like you're like, well, how are we gonna figure this out? But we're in this room together and we're supposed to work.
OG Parker was in there too, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody get there, everybody spread their sauce around. The way I do it is I know my keys. Let me bring my keys. And the airway signs, all that. Well, we know good splits, we know all that. I say that in the session. Now the split is this, that. And get that nice and clear, because that's the other part that we all in.
I
You handle the splits.
I never went through like somebody not agreeing on the split. I never went through that.
Man.
I ain't never had that.
Hey man, you don't have
Do y'all handle the splits? Do y'all prefer to handle splits while in the session?
Huh?
You prefer to handle splits while in the session?
Depends on who you with. If they funny, they're acting funny, then yeah, you gotta talk.
I'll never bring up
Funny.
paperwork. Actually, I'll just put like at a street level almost. Like, hey bro, so you know what I'm saying? Like, we did that. Like, I ain't gonna pull out no paperwork. That's scary.
No, but just getting that
Yeah,
understanding.
just like, so when it at least come to happen to somebody agreeing, you can like check them on like a moral level almost. At least, like, hey nigga, you said it.
You just put down this.
Yeah. Now you flaking because it got placed on this house,
person.
you know what I'm saying? Now you
That
like,
happens a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta call the person, be like, yo, you tripping. Like, you're really trying to take it. Such percentage. Yeah.
All right, now, man, I had another question I wanted to ask y'all. I totally skipped my friend. I hope it comes back to me. Well, let's jump into networking, because like we were just talking about collaborating. Collaborating is definitely a good way. My question came back to me. Ooh, I'm lit. All right, so basically, how do you guys? A lot of times, okay, for most producers, you're going in the room. For all y'all, you're going in the room. You're working with the artist, and open the laptop. And you're going down the pack of beats. How do you fill out the vibe to know exactly which to play to hit on, or how long are you staying on a beat for them before you go to the next one? Like, what is your process when it comes to that?
Man, you gotta look at a nigga face when you like, you would know when a nigga fuck with your shit or not. Like, a nigga, if you see you're in the studio playing beats and niggas is just like,
Yeah, it only takes like 5
you know what I'm
seconds.
saying?
Yeah. You gotta get on the first beat, first and second beat.
Personally, I would sell that every record. Every record. Like, you pull this up. Where the engineer at?
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm selling every record. Alright, well, pull this up, but it's it, I'm telling you. But you start chopping a look more, with that football, well, I'm telling you, but you better get in there and start sleeping on it. But sometimes, like, I wasn't always that way though, but sometimes you do gotta look at their face, but now I'm just selling it. Boy, that's boo, but it's like,
How did you build that confidence more so to know that you can go in there? Because it might have not been off rip that you had that type of confidence to go in there and be like, man, y'all tripping, like everything I'm playing fire. Y'all want to hop on this before somebody else take it. Like, what took to build that?
one, getting that first placement, but another thing, watching, it was like somebody, I forgot who was talking about Kanye. And they used to talk about, like, they were talking about how he is in the studio and how he, you know what I'm saying, he is in there, but they saying he like, you gotta tell him to play the next one. You know how sometimes y'all did it before, y'all been in there, y'all seen them, they not give you that vibe, and then you like, play another one. You know, is he like, nah, you won't have to say like, nah, play another one, like, cause he feel like everything he playing, like, I already had this pack for you. I had this set when I got here, I had this 10 for you, so one of these, I'm gonna bow my head to, you know what I'm saying? So that's the approach I took. So I love all my babies, you know what I'm saying? So if you're ready, you like it or not, it's whether you like it or not.
Do you think that, do you find it an issue sometimes when you become too attached to your work? Or how do you guys handle that when you like to not become so attached and just look at it like, it's another one, it's another one, it's another one?
I'm never, what do you mean by attached?
Like some people, some creators become attached to the work, like you just said, it's your baby, so do you find yourself to sometimes be like, I don't want to go on this person, like, I really want to go on that person, like, to become attached to it. Where is the line that you find where it's like, oh, am I becoming too attached, or should I just let it rock?
For me, I don't know. When I'm trying to get my stuff placed, I'll look at it from the business side. Like, can you afford me? Like, I look at it like that sometimes. But usually, I like working with everybody, but it just gotta make sense and it gotta be hard when it comes out. Like the end result gotta be hard.
It's gotta be hard.
You ever said no to a record? They got sent back to you like, I'm not clearing that?
Yeah, I did that a few times. But it's like, I'm appreciative, but you gotta snap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta go crazy.
All right, now jumping into networking, like we were talking about, collaborating is a great way to network. For new producers out there, what do you think what do you think the wrong ways of networking are for a new producer when they're coming out and they're trying to get placements, or they're running into producers at your level, where it's like, hey, I want to work with you, like.
Blowing that nigga up, man, that's not the way. Do not just sit there and just, give me CCI. Do not do that. Oh God, I'm not gonna say nothing.
Yeah.
Don't do it like that.
It's gotta be one person.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's just plain and cool. Just, being your own man, come to somebody showing you respect them, that you want to fuck with them, but then go on and prove and hold your own weight and put in your own work. Maybe a year or two ago, producer hit me, cool. And right here, my boy, he hit me what's up, I'm trying to, came to the house, came to the studio, but he never bombarded me. It was never not a situation where it's where you feel this nigga hit me. So when he called me, it's like, what's up, little brother? He told me he's gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good situation when your relationship building. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think
Contact is not the same as a relationship.
You said what?
The contact is not the same as a relationship.
You know what I'm saying? But when you meet somebody, go hoop with them, go shoot nice one, go play video games, go do normal stuff, not always just trying to music.
Yeah.
If you could try to connect on any other type of level, if you can, don't force it, but if you can, try to, because we hear music all day, every day. I'm trying to get on every day, so
yeah.
It'll be cool.
Anybody else?
Just kicking, just music comes down probably to the last 10% too of just the day. Even with artists too, they don't want to be talking about music all the time. That shit just comes later. You just go to the studio and kick it and make a record. We don't have to be all bro, we gotta get on, bro. That shit's just gonna come organically.
And sometimes we just be busy. So just don't get in your feelings and then continue to keep blowing us up on music, and then it's oh man, so you ain't really about it.
All right, now, can you guys talk about the importance of knowing how to network in different areas? So networking in the club opposed to networking in the studio.
I don't network at a club or a show.
Okay.
That's super dead. Because you gotta picture the person that's going to the show or going to the club, they're already in a mindset that they don't want to network with people, because they already know people are gonna approach them. So they might give you the fake line, oh yeah, bro, we're gonna link up, yeah, bro, I'm sure. And then you just dip because you already programmed yourself to go and do that. But it's mostly in person, studio sessions, just showing up, no online shit.
What's the line do you guys, think about it from both ends, because I'm sure people hit you guys up, and then the time period where, as producers, you're sending stuff out. What is the line for y'all between, I guess, spamming like we were talking about, and being consistent with sending your work out? Any questions? So basically, what is the line when it comes to being consistent with sending work out, consistently, sending your work out and then spamming someone? So if someone's sending you guys, or if you're trying to get something done.
Okay. I think spamming, you can't spam somebody who's looking for your email.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I send, if I got your email, you gave it to me. You know what I'm saying? Some people might just get it, some, weird way or whatever the case is, but if I got your email, you gave it, you know what I'm saying? You gave it to me. If you put your email in your bio and you want everybody to follow you, you can't be mad.
Yeah, that people are sending it.
So if you gave me your email, I don't feel I don't know how many times you send it. It's I'm trying to get on. I ain't spamming you, but I'm trying to get on. You know what I'm saying? You said, put your email up here. You know what I'm talking about?
What do you guys think? What do you think has been the best way for you guys, the best avenue for you guys to shop beats, whether it be through A&Rs, in studio with the artist, like
Who the artist?
The artist.
with the artist.
Personal relationship.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna hop into like brand and image. We were just talking about that, you know, and Danny, you had touched on that earlier, more so just being an artist, producer, and holding on to your brand. What do you guys think? I mean, if you guys can just go down the list and just say what your brand means to you and what you want to push out into the world with your brand.
I would say just knowing what you want to, your intentions, knowing what your intentions are is a part of your brand. I feel like some people just want to shit on people and they just flex all day as part of their brand. I would say for my brand, it's just bringing a different perspective and using the platform to help people battle through, you know, when you're no longer an online persona and you're no longer trying to impress people when you're by yourself and like the real thoughts that are going through your head. It's just using that platform to help people navigate through that, because as an immigrant, like, I didn't have both my parents around, so like, I dealt a lot with that type of shit. So like, what I like to do with my brand is just, you know, helping people to keep going through it and just managing to still, you know, interact with the human world, but at the same time keeping your sanity in check, so you're not just like putting up fake smiles all day and shit.
With me, I just be trying to inspire people. I be trying to inspire the homies, and that's really what I want to do with my brand, just inspire people. Just, you don't gotta just do hell shit to get in the industry. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like old days or what niggas be saying, but you just gotta play your role and fall in the mix. But you just gotta just be cool. It's like a balance. I don't know. You just gotta be cool.
I feel like like you said, to inspire the next person to be like, how should I say it? Like, when they come across Buddha, we was in studio with Buddha. But like you said, like collaborating, like the vibe bro got, or even a producer who's not even on yet, or like he came and reached out and he didn't even have to. You know what I'm saying? He came out and touched and he came out and fucked with me and he didn't even have to. So the next man get on, you get on, you know the right way to treat a situation, the right way to treat a person who's just looking for opportunity, or you don't even gotta do something for them all the time. You can just say the right thing, or listen to their beats, or listen to their song. Like, you never know how that could push the next person farther, because they believe you. Because whatever you got going on, it worked. What you got going on works. So giving that person the time of day, whether it's 2 minutes, you know, that could really change one thing.
For me, it's just being, honestly, just being myself. But being, because I'm not necessarily an outgoing person, but I do things that interest me. So it's just like, I feel that, you know, for the people out there that are into the same things that I'm into, like building computers, doing all the extra nerdy stuff, all that, you know, like I feel like you don't necessarily have to be, especially in the genre that I'm in, you don't necessarily have to be just one type of person. You can, you know, like those are the type, you know, I'm just letting people know that it's not just one person out there.
Now, a big part of branding is your tags. How do you guys let people take their tags off, or is it more so like, I need my tag to stay in here?
Yeah,
Or does it depend on who's asking to take the tag out?
hell yeah, you always want to barge your tag on. You want to turn that tag up, you don't want to loud, right before the beat drop. But some records, you understand, coming from, like I got a big R&B record coming up. And if they take the tag off of there, I will understand it because of how R&B it is. And you come from R&B, that's not really something you just, you know what I'm saying? Coming from, especially from older R&B, you know what I'm saying? That's not really the way, you know what I'm saying? So you really don't. But if bro, keep my tag on there, you dope. Yeah, keep it.
Everybody put the same way about that.
You said what, Earl?
I think everybody put the same way about that.
Yeah. How did you guys come up with your tags? Like, is there a story behind each of your tags? Like, how you actually came up with them?
He like told his homie to make my tag, and then his homie randomly hit me up. He was like, "Yo, I got a tag for you." And it was just random. I just opened the DM and I was like, "Send it." He did a bunch of tags in Spanish. We just did the last one. I was like, "Fuck it, let's do it."
Fire.
I don't gotta say that. Working on it though.
My tag
We're gonna get it done.
it came from my uncles. Like, my uncles all started producing, who they kind of got me into producing. They just say, Buddha bless. And they be like, Buddha bless the beat. And they always did something, they just ran, so I just ran with it. It was hard.
That's fine.
Mine came from a FaceTime call. Her voice sounded good.
You recorded the FaceTime?
So I just told her to send some voice memos of her saying, Earl on the beat, Earl on the beat, Earl did this beat, Earl made this beat, Earl on the beat. And that was the one that I showed her.
Fire. All right, let's talk about cutting the check. You know, contracts can vary, so it's like, it's not cookie cutter when it comes to, you know, getting your bread. But can you just talk about, the two main streams of income for producers, you know, are usually your advances and your royalties. Can y'all just talk about the difference between those two, and to everybody in the audience, like producers out there, the importance of them?
There's a couple checks. You got your sounds, the sound exchange, you got your BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC. But then there's a whole piece, like a whole collection that you gotta go to administration for. Like, people to go collect your money from China, you gotta get money from different avenues. So it's a couple places you get checks from. If I answered your question, if I did, I don't know if I did. I feel like I answered it well.
You kind of got to it. That's about it. We're gonna open the floor. Oh, yeah, we're about to open the floor. Look, he was ready too. He was like, it's time to open the floor. We're gonna open the floor up, so if you have any questions for the guys on the panel, step right on up.
Take a single file line, we're gonna take questions right here.
Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, everybody. What's good? So, first I just gotta say thanks for like coming. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just have to do that. Like I see stuff all the time where it's like $50 an hour just to like get something. So I appreciate it. My name is Miles Bickle. I'm a senior economics major from Decatur, Georgia. I go by Decatur Great, 808. So I produce and engineer. I do have to say that like all of y'all have been inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm super excited that y'all are here, but so as far as when you create your brand, like on Instagram, for example, like I've had T-, he just liked one of my posts. It was a recording of something that I pretty much produced and engineered, also Sun wrote. I've also had like guys like Jess Jackson, I don't know if y'all know who that is, but trying to think, Narden B, he's like some of my stuff too. I don't know how to get in contact with these guys though. I did just get my first placement today.
You don't.
I don't know how to get in contact with them. Like,
don't.
Yeah, I know I can.
But I'm saying, you don't get in contact with them.
Yeah,
So-
keep being so dope that.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah, they liking your post, just the fact that they letting you know you're doing something right, that should be enough. If you reach out like, hey bro, I'm trying to work, that's one thing. Like just that one thing. If you don't say nothing else, let that go. And just keep working, and he gonna see you when the time come up and you blown up, you probably gonna be past him. So,
one question for Dan. I remember I was watching a Producer Ground one time, and you were talking about energies. Pretty much like energies. Like that's one reason why I admire you a lot. Because it's been moments in times where I've had to like kind of clear my space and stuff like that. So like how does that work as far as like when you might have like a producer friend that you're probably coming up with? I'm pretty sure you probably have experienced that where you had guys you were producing with, and then it's like, oh man, because of jealousy or something else, they might not be able to work with you.
First of all, thank you for that. I always like to hear that stuff because I don't really be hearing that a lot of people, this is all just what I believe, I'm not necessarily right, but a lot of people like to think a lot, and I believe if you look through history, like a lot of people that have figured out how to master and control their thoughts and stuff, they realize that thinking is kind of mediocre because thinking leads to fear and doubt and a lot of rabbit holes that make you feel a certain way. What I like to do is, even like right now as I'm speaking to you, just like I like to meditate and I like to be thankful to God and just be in a thankful mindset and just focusing myself on the reality of what's already happened instead of what hasn't happened. So a lot of people, they're thinking on what hasn't happened yet. So they're bringing it up, the jealousy, they're thinking. So it's like thinking is here, meditation is here. So you're constantly in a meditating mind state of just like, thank you God, thank you for making this, getting me through these battles today, thank you for this, just being in a thankful mindset, you immediately separate yourself from what's going on, and you're able to just focus on what you need to do, and you can still hold conversations with people, you can still talk, but you're just in that thankful energy mindset, and I feel like that's what helps me, protect myself from feeling affected from that.
Like sometimes it hurts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It really hurts, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, all right, my fault. But I appreciate y'all. Thank you for your time. The artists that I got replacement with, real to the cell phones. Yeah, so appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Guys, let's try to limit it to like one question.
My question is pretty quick. I'm Billy. I'm a producer and a guitar player as well. I just want to ask y'all niggas, which one of y'all want some of these 5 guitar loops though? Like, who do you guitar loops?
Come on with it.
I bet, I got y'all.
You play like it's you, right?
I play
Live leaks, you ain't get this from nobody else, ain't like you got this from up the street.
I ain't never got no guitar sample.
I would never do that.
Most likely, so.
They'll get you content for the league.
Bet. That's it.
Hey, what's up? Lorenzo. I'm from Miami. And I'm like, sorry about that. Lorenzo from Miami. I'm more of a songwriter, poet, and I listen to music all the time about my friends musicians, so, and seeing that energy around my family, around my friends, it makes me feel like the world's kind of coming to me, but also when you see what you want to do in the world as far as business is concerned or how to make the next step. I wanted to know, how do you get that trust in yourself to be able to reach out beyond people that you already know you can trust, besides we've shared before, stuff that arches and let it go. So how do you get to a point where you're able to decide who could be a good person in your family or friends?
You mean like you said friends, or you talking about like management, or you said?
Well, personally, when it comes to creative process, like you have people you create with, people that give you the energy, and then you'll have people in the street that may see and notice that they'll be able to imitate that, something you won't be able to get by. So like how would you avoid, like getting played on that level that could really destroy you or bring you down mentally, being able to create more?
Like you said, guardian energy, guardian space. You know what your comfort is. You know what your, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, know when to say no. Or just, if you really don't want to do something, you don't have to do it.
I think just showing love and embracing people, and a lot of those people that act that way are really broken. So just, they don't really have somebody that embraces their flaws and who they are, and they're already used to people pushing them away. So just like being that difference in the room that, you bring them up. You don't even have to speak all this woke shit. You can just like bring them a gift and just like, show them some love. I feel like that's the biggest key.
Hi, my name is Thomas. I'm a producer, and I only have one question. Do you ever feel like you're unoriginal or a need to remaster your own sound?
Yes.
Yeah, you gonna go through it.
Yeah. You always want to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, you gotta keep going.
Definitely.
Hey, I'm Axis. I'm a producer. I want to know, what's it take to show up on your radar?
They talking about the right place? Is that right?
Get a record, man. Get a record, get records, get out there, fuck with these artists, fuck with young niggas, fuck with new niggas, because new niggas know niggas that's on, like, you know what I'm saying? Don't always go into the big camps or big labels trying to fuck with the niggas who's already on, because they damn near got a lot of stuff in place. Go fuck with the new nigga who fuck coming on, you know what I'm saying? So you stay a part of the new wave, the start of the new niggas, you'll get in there some type of way.
Alright, so y'all heard that I got records. Anybody wants some records? I got them. I'm right in the middle row.
First off, before I just want to say something to the audience. My name is Wavebeast. I'm a photographer, videographer, graphic designer, wardrobe stylist, creative director. So so I do a little bit of everything. So all my artists, producers, anything along that lines, any type of creative content, I'm your guy. I do all the primary visuals for AUCWhoGotNext for the past year. And my question for you guys is, how do you get into the studio or in your place of space as a photographer or videographer? Like, what do you guys look for? Because you know everyone got a camera nowadays. How do y'all find photographers and videographers?
Just be dope. Me personally, I don't have clear cameras be available, but I done dealt with photographers where you damn near gotta beat their ass for your pictures and videos. Nah, for real, I don't know. That's like being a photographer thing, so I don't know, but just be a person, people want their stuff back in a timely manner. Be clear and be professional. That's really about it. You know what I'm saying?
Build up with the artist too, like an artist you believe in, just keep building him up and keep building his portfolio up too. So that'll work.
What's up, y'all? My name is Rashad. I'm an artist and producer. Happy birthday, Earl. My birthday is today too, actually. And Danny, you have the best 808 sounds ever, bro. I fuck with your 808 so much, man. Learned so much. Summer Walker's album is crazy too, man. But my question is, I had a company hit me up about licensing my beats. I wanted to know if what you guys have done in your situations. They had a terrible contract.
Get you an attorney, bro.
Yeah.
Don't let your lawyer do that. Get you a lawyer first. Yeah, let them handle that.
Okay. Cool.
What's up? My name is Eve. I'm a mixing engineer, recording engineer, and producer. Where are my engineers at? What's up? So my question for y'all was, what advice would you give on time management? Because I know it's easy to OD, be in the studio all the time for days at a time. What would y'all recommend to other engineers and producers?
Everybody should be on camera.
Wait, did you what?
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
We used to do a happy birthday.
Oh my God. Swear you ain't crazy like that. Oh my God. Yeah, my boy Pat, man. What we doing? How you open this motherfucker up? I'm new to this.
What we doing? Upgrade that motherfucker.
Hey, man.
What you doing?
Hey, man.
What you doing?
You go crazy every year.
Man, you can't think I forgot.
You go crazy every year, bro. Damn.